In the tranquil waters off the coast of the Seychelles, a small island named Isla Verde beckoned adventurers and conservationists alike. Known for its vibrant coral reefs and diverse marine life, the island was a paradise for those seeking to explore the underwater world. Among them was Thomas Blackburn, a 28-year-old environmental volunteer passionate about marine conservation. It was June 16, 2001, a day that promised clear skies and calm seas, perfect for the scheduled cleanup dive around the island. Thomas and fellow volunteers, including his close friend and fellow diver Lucas Bennett and seasoned diver Sarah Gomez, prepared for the day's mission. Their goal was to remove debris from the coral reefs, ensuring a safe habitat for the marine creatures. With his tousled brown hair and keen green eyes, Thomas was known for his infectious enthusiasm and love for the ocean. He had left his job in England to travel and volunteer in marine conservation projects worldwide. Isla Verde was his latest stop, where he quickly made friends with a small community of divers and environmentalists. Lucas, Thomas's diving partner, shared his passion for the ocean, but was more cautious and measured in his approach. Sarah, their dive leader, was a seasoned pro, her years of experience evident in her confident demeanor and deep respect for the sea. As they geared up, Thomas felt a surge of excitement. Diving was where he felt most at home amidst the silence of the underwater world. The group set off in their boat, the clear waters revealing the colorful life beneath the surface. They reached their designated dive spot, a part of the reef known for its stunning coral formations. The underwater world opened up before them as they descended, a kaleidoscope of colors and movements. Thomas was captivated by a school of vibrant fish darting among the corals. However, today's dive was an unexpected and terrifying encounter. As they worked on removing a tangled fishing net, a massive tiger shark emerged from the depths. Its sleek, powerful body easily cut through the water, its cold eyes surveying the scene. The shark, over 10 feet long, moved with a grace that belied its potential for ferocity. Thomas, closest to the creature, felt a primal fear grip him. He had learned about tiger sharks in his conservation studies, known for their curiosity and assertive nature. They were formidable predators. In a heartbeat, the shark turned its attention towards Thomas, its powerful tail propelling it forward. Thomas froze, his heart pounding in his chest. The shark's jaws opened, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. Lucas, witnessing the scene, acted instinctively. He swam towards Thomas, yelling through his regulator to distract the shark. Seeing the danger, Sarah quickly joined in, trying to create a barrier between the shark and Thomas. But the shark was undeterred. It lunged at Thomas, its teeth sinking into his leg. The pain was immediate and searing. Thomas felt himself being pulled down, the weight of the shark immense. He struggled, trying to push the shark away, but its grip was unyielding. Lucas and Sarah, in a desperate attempt to save their friend, attacked the shark, punching and kicking, trying to force it to release Thomas. After what seemed like an eternity but was only seconds, the shark let go, disappearing into the depths as quickly as it had appeared. Thomas was bleeding profusely, his leg mangled. Lucas and Sarah, their hearts racing with adrenaline and fear, quickly helped him to the surface. They signaled the boat for an emergency pickup. As they sped back to the island, Sarah applied pressure to Thomas's wounds, trying to stem the bleeding. Lucas held Thomas's hand, offering words of comfort, his mind racing with worry. They reached the island and Thomas was rushed to a medical facility. The doctors worked swiftly, but the damage was severe. Thomas had lost a significant amount of blood and his leg was beyond saving. The decision was made to amputate. In the days that followed, as Thomas lay in his hospital bed, his life forever changed. He grappled with the reality of his situation. The ocean, his source of joy and passion, had nearly claimed his life. Yet amid the pain and loss, Thomas's spirit remained unbroken. His thoughts often drifted to the shark, the majestic creature that had altered his destiny. He harbored no anger, only a deeper understanding of the wild and unpredictable nature of the ocean's inhabitants. The attack at Isla Verde became a story of survival and resilience, a testament to the power of the human spirit in the face of adversity. It also served as a stark reminder of the importance of respecting the ocean and its creatures, acknowledging that humans were but visitors in their domain. Born in the heart of Mexico City, Adriana Morales was always enchanted by the sea. As a child, she spent her summers at her grandmother's house in Puerto Escondido, where she first fell in love with the ocean. Her days were spent combing the beaches, collecting shells, and marveling at the marine life in the tide pools. Her grandmother, a retired marine biologist, fueled her curiosity with stories of the deep sea and its mysteries. Adriana's decision to follow in her grandmother's footsteps came naturally. Her academic journey was marked by determination and excellence. She pursued marine biology at the university, where she stood out for her keen interest in coral ecosystems. Her research on coral bleaching brought her recognition in academic circles. However, it was her passion for fieldwork that defined her career path. She believed that true understanding came from direct interaction with the marine environment. Puerto Escondido, a jewel along the Yucatan Peninsula, was more than just a scenic town. Its culture was deeply intertwined with the sea, shaping the lives of its inhabitants. The town, known for its vibrant markets, colorful festivals, and warm, welcoming people, had a rich history of fishing and sea trade. The local community, a tapestry of fishermen, artisans, and small business owners, viewed the sea as both a provider and a wondrous entity. Legends of the sea were passed down through generations, adding a wondrous dimension to their daily lives. Adriana's return to Puerto Escondido was not only a professional endeavor, but also a homecoming. She had become a professional diver, mastering the art of moving around the sea with her skills. The town, with its mix of nostalgia and newfound development, presented both familiar comfort and fresh challenges. Preparations for the expedition were meticulous. Adriana spent days checking her diving gear, calibrating her camera equipment, and poring over sea charts. She collaborated closely with local diving experts, absorbing their knowledge of the area's currents and underwater topography. Safety was paramount. She ran multiple checks on her oxygen tanks, underwater lights, and communication devices. Her equipment included a specialized underwater camera designed for deep-sea photography and a sturdy, custom-made wetsuit. Adriana also arranged for a small support team, consisting of a boat pilot and a fellow marine biologist, to assist her during the dives. Adriana's arrival coincided with a local initiative to protect the coral reefs. The town was abuzz with efforts led by a group of environmental activists aiming to raise awareness about the threats to the local marine ecosystem. Among them was Luis, a charismatic local fisherman turned conservationist, who had witnessed the degradation of the reefs over the years. Luis and Adriana quickly found common ground in their passion for the ocean. He shared tales of the reef's former glory and the challenges they faced, from overfishing to pollution. Together they organized community meetings where Adriana provided insights into the scientific aspects of conservation, while Luis spoke about practical, sustainable fishing practices. Each dive brought Adriana face to face with the vibrant inhabitants of the coral reefs. She marveled at the delicate dance of the angelfish and the stealthy movements of moray eels. Clownfish darted between the anemones, while sea turtles glided majestically overhead. One particular encounter with a school of bioluminescent jellyfish left Adriana spellbound. She dived alone, and as she swam amongst them, their glowing forms illuminated the ocean's twilight, creating a surreal, dreamlike experience. Her camera captured this enchanting spectacle, hoping to convey the urgent need to protect such wonders. It was then that she had a pivotal encounter with a massive reef shark, which seemed aggressive and harrowing. The shark first appeared as a fleeting shadow. As it circled closer, Adriana could see its eyes, unblinking and calculating. She kept her movements slow and deliberate, avoiding direct eye contact. The shark, perhaps sensing her respect and understanding, gradually ceased its aggressive posturing. Adriana observed its behavior, noting scars that spoke of past battles and survival. The aggressive reef shark, a formidable silhouette against the dimming light, launched a sudden attack. Its powerful body thrust through the water with alarming speed, its jaws snapping fiercely near her. Adriana's heart pounded in her chest as she narrowly dodged the shark's initial strike. Years of training and her innate presence of mind kicked in. She knew that panic would only escalate the situation. Using her camera as a shield, she deftly maneuvered away from the shark, and her movements calculated yet swift. Despite her efforts, the shark's rough skin grazed her, leaving behind a stinging trail of bruises and scrapes on her arms and legs. The encounter was a harrowing dance of survival. Each of Adriana's evasive moves met with the shark's relentless pursuit. Finally, as if acknowledging her resilience, the shark ceased its attack, disappearing into the deep blue, leaving Adriana with both physical wounds and a profound respect for the untamed force she had just encountered. Her escape was not just a testament to her skills as a diver, but also a reminder of the unpredictable nature of the marine world she so loved. This moment of connection shifted her perception. The shark was not a mindless predator, but an essential part of the reef's ecosystem, deserving of respect and understanding. Exhausted and wounded, Adriana floated on the surface of the water, her breaths coming in ragged gasps. The adrenaline that had sustained her during the encounter with the shark began to wane, and the reality of her situation set in. Feeling the sting of her injuries and the weight of her equipment, she mustered the strength to call for help. Her voice, at first a hoarse whisper, grew stronger as she shouted into the vast expanse of the sea. The sound of her cries echoed across the water, a desperate plea in the vastness of the ocean. Fortuitously, a group of local fishermen who were returning from their day's catch heard her calls. They steered their boat towards the source of the sound, their seasoned eyes quickly spotting Adriana's figure in the water. As they approached, they were taken aback by her condition. The bruises and cuts marring her skin spoke volumes of her harrowing ordeal. With swift and practiced movements, they helped her aboard, offering her water and first aid. Their boat cut through the waves, heading back to shore as they reassured Adriana and tended to her wounds. The fishermen's timely intervention was not just a rescue, but a testament to the solidarity and kindness that existed among those who shared a deep connection with the sea. As the shoreline neared, Adriana lay on the deck, her mind replaying the day's events, grateful for the unexpected guardians who had brought her safely back to land. Back in the sanctuary of her small home in Puerto Escondido, Adriana took the time to recover and reflect. The walls, adorned with marine-themed decorations and her underwater photographs, seemed to echo her recent experience silently. Lying in her bed, she nursed the physical reminders of her encounter, the bruises that painted her skin, and the cuts that were healing into scars. Each mark was a memory, a story of survival against the raw power of nature. During her recovery, Adriana found solace in the quiet hours, allowing her thoughts to wander through the events that had transpired. The fear and adrenaline of the encounter gradually gave way to a deeper understanding and respect for the marine life she had dedicated herself to studying. She realized that her experience with the reef shark, though harrowing, was a valuable lesson in the delicate balance of the underwater ecosystem. The shark, in its territory, had acted on instinct, a guardian of its realm. As days turned into weeks, Adriana's physical wounds healed, and with it, a renewed sense of purpose emerged. She began compiling her notes and photographs, intending to share her story with the world. Her aim was not just to recount a tale of survival, but to highlight the importance of understanding and respecting marine life. She organized a series of talks and presentations, first in her community in Puerto Escondido, and later at various environmental conferences. Her message was clear. Every creature in the ocean, no matter how feared or misunderstood, plays a crucial role in the marine ecosystem. Her encounter with the reef shark became a powerful narrative that underscored the need for marine conservation and respect for the natural world. Adriana's experience, which had begun as a personal challenge, transformed into an opportunity to educate and inspire others. Her journey, marked by resilience and a deepening connection with the sea, had become a catalyst for change, bridging the gap between human understanding and the mysterious depths of the ocean. Her story was not just about survival, but about finding harmony and respect in the vast waters of the world. On the sun-kissed morning of July 15, 2002, Clara Benson and Lucas Wright, a newlywed couple from a small town in England, were embarking on what was meant to be the highlight of their honeymoon in the Bahamas. They had chosen Sapphire Lagoon, a stunning location known for its crystal-clear waters and vibrant marine life. The Bahamas, a paradise for water enthusiasts, was home to many sea creatures, including the awe-inspiring yet formidable tiger sharks. Clara, a 28-year-old nurse with a love for the ocean, was excited about their snorkeling trip to see the colorful coral reefs of Sapphire Lagoon. Lucas, a 30-year-old school teacher, shared her enthusiasm, although he was slightly apprehensive about the open waters. They had heard about tiger sharks in the area, impressive, respected, and feared creatures. Known for their striped bodies and powerful presence, tiger sharks were a common sight in these waters, though they rarely interacted with humans. Their day started with laughter and anticipation as they prepared for their adventure. They talked about the fish they hoped to see and the memories they would create. After a hearty breakfast at their seaside resort, they met with their guide, a seasoned local diver named Marvin, who briefed them on safety measures and the rich biodiversity of Sapphire Lagoon. Armed with snorkeling gear, Clara and Lucas set out on a small boat captained by Marvin. The lagoon's waters sparkled under the bright Bahamian sun, inviting them into its depths. Clara's eyes gleamed excitedly as they neared the snorkeling spot while Lucas checked his camera, eager to capture every moment. They plunged into the water, immersing themselves in the underwater wonderland. Clara was mesmerized by the coral's vivid hues and the schools of fish that swam close enough to touch. Lucas, swimming beside her, felt a sense of awe at the beauty that surrounded them. Unbeknownst to the blissful couple, a tiger shark over 3 meters long and drawn by the activity was slowly approaching from the deeper parts of the lagoon. Clara, busy admiring a school of angelfish, didn't notice the shadow looming in the distance. Suddenly, Lucas saw the unmistakable stripes of the tiger shark. His heart sank as he realized the imminent danger. He gestured frantically to Clara, signaling the presence of the shark. Clara turned and her blood ran cold. The tiger shark was alarmingly close. The shark, perhaps curious or feeling threatened, moved closer in a split second. In a state of shock, Clara tried to swim away, but the shark was faster. In a swift, terrifying moment, it bit her hand. Agonizing pain surged through her as she struggled to free herself from the shark's jaws. Seeing his wife in peril, Lucas knew he had to act fast. He swam towards Clara, his mind racing to find a way to help her. He remembered Marvin's advice: stay calm and avoid sudden movements. Lucas reached Clara, his heart pounding with fear and adrenaline. Blood clouded the water around them, signaling the severity of Clara's injury. She was in shock, her face contorted with pain. He supported Clara, trying to keep her calm as he yelled for Marvin's help. Their boat was nearby, but it seemed an eternity away in that moment of terror. Every stroke toward the ship felt like a battle against panic and despair. Marvin, noticing the commotion, quickly headed towards them. As he approached, he understood the gravity of the situation. Clara's hand was grievously injured, and the shark was still nearby. Acting swiftly, Marvin helped Clara onto the boat and administered first aid to her wound. Lucas climbed aboard, his face a mixture of worry and relief. Marvin radioed for emergency medical assistance as they raced back to the shore. Back on land, an ambulance was waiting. Clara was rushed to the hospital, her condition critical. The bite had caused severe damage, and she was losing a lot of blood. In the hospital, Clara's fight for survival continued. She underwent emergency surgery to treat her injuries. Lucas stayed by her side, holding her hand, his mind filled with fear and hope. The news of the shark attack spread quickly, a chilling reminder of the unpredictability of nature. For Clara and Lucas, the incident was a brutal intrusion into their idyllic honeymoon. Miraculously, after days of intensive care and multiple surgeries, Clara began to recover. The physical scars remained, but her spirit was unbroken. The attack had changed her, but her love for the ocean and its creatures endured. Clara's journey to recovery was slow but steady. She returned to the sea, not to snorkel but to watch from the safety of the shore, and her respect for the ocean's inhabitants deepened. The traumatic experience brought the couple closer, their bond strengthened by the ordeal they had endured together. The tranquility of Sapphire Lagoon had been shattered, but the resilience and love of Clara and Lucas shone through in the face of adversity. Their story became a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the need for respect and caution in the natural world. In the small fishing town of Gansby, South Africa, renowned for its dense population of sharks, Dr. Hannah Clark, a dedicated marine biologist, embarked on a pivotal project. Her mission was to tag sharks for a study analyzing their migratory patterns and behavior. Little did she know that this expedition would test her courage and expertise in ways she never imagined. Hannah had always been captivated by the ocean's mysteries, dedicating her life to marine conservation. Her work had taken her to various parts of the world, but Gansby held a special place in her heart with its rugged coastlines and rich marine biodiversity. Here, she first witnessed the majestic great white shark, which terrified and fascinated her. The project's objective was clear: tag as many sharks as possible to gather vital data. Equipped with specialized tagging equipment, Hannah and her team set out on their research vessel early one morning. The sea was calm, the sky a clear blue, conditions perfect for their endeavor. Hannah's team included her trusted colleague, Alex, an experienced diver and researcher, and a small crew well-versed in the waters around Gansby. The team prepared for the day's work as they reached their destination, a well-known shark hotspot. Hannah donned her diving suit, her heart pounding with excitement and anxiety. The process of tagging sharks was delicate and required precision. Hannah and Alex would dive into the water, locate a shark, and then carefully attach a tracking device to its dorsal fin. The device was designed to be minimally invasive, ensuring the shark's safety and well-being. As Hannah descended into the deep blue, she felt a sense of awe. The underwater world was a different realm, silent and vast. She could see the shadows of sharks in the distance, their sleek forms cutting through the water with grace and power. The first few tagging attempts went smoothly. The sharks, curious but cautious, allowed Hannah and Alex to approach them. Hannah's respect for these magnificent creatures grew with each encounter. She was struck by their beauty, strength, and vital role in the ocean's ecosystem. As the day progressed, Hannah prepared for another dive. This time they spotted a large great white shark, its massive form gliding effortlessly through the water. Hannah's heart raced. Tagging a shark of this size required skill and a deep understanding of shark behavior. She and Alex approached the shark, moving slowly to avoid startling it. The shark seemed aware of their presence but remained calm. Hannah positioned herself carefully, preparing to attach the tag. She admired the shark's immense power, aware that she was in the presence of one of nature's most formidable predators. Just as she was about to secure the tag, the shark suddenly veered, its movements erratic. Hannah realized something was wrong. The shark's behavior had shifted unexpectedly, and it was now showing signs of aggression. She signaled to Alex, warning him of the change. The shark circled back, its eyes fixed on Hannah. She knew she had to remain calm, but the situation rapidly became dangerous. Her training had prepared her for such encounters, but facing a great white shark in its element was an actual test of her resolve. Hannah and Alex slowly started to retreat to their boat's safety, but the shark was relentless. It moved closer, its powerful body a daunting sight. Hannah's mind raced as she searched for a way to defuse the situation without harming the shark, or putting herself and Alex in further danger. The shark's movements became more aggressive, its tail whipping through the water, creating powerful currents that made it difficult for Hannah and Alex to maintain their positions. Hannah's heart pounded in her chest, her mind racing for solutions. She remembered a technique she had read about, using a shark stick to gently redirect a shark's path without harming it. Carefully, she reached for the shark stick attached to her belt. The shark, sensing her movement, darted towards her. With precise timing, Hannah steadied her nerves and gently pushed the stick towards the shark's snout, redirecting it away from her. The shark, startled by the unexpected barrier, veered off course. Taking advantage of the moment, Hannah signaled to Alex to ascend. They needed to get out of the water as quickly as possible. The shark, however, was not deterred easily. It circled back, its movements more calculated. Hannah knew they were running out of time. The shark followed its massive form as they ascended, a shadow beneath them. Hannah kept the shark stick ready to maintain a safe distance whenever the shark got too close. Her heart raced, and her lungs burned with the effort of maintaining a steady pace while keeping an eye on the shark. Nearing the surface, Hannah could see the bottom of their boat. The crew had noticed the commotion and were on high alert, ready to assist. As they broke the surface, the crew immediately reached out, pulling Hannah and Alex to safety. Once on board, Hannah collapsed, her body shaking from the adrenaline and exertion. The crew tended to her, ensuring she was not injured. The shark, having lost interest, disappeared into the ocean's depths. The incident left Hannah and her team in a state of reflection at the research facility. The encounter was a stark reminder of the unpredictability of nature. especially when dealing with wild animals in their habitat. Hannah knew the risks involved in her work, but this experience had brought those risks into sharp focus. Despite the scare, Hannah's determination to continue her research did not waver. The incident had strengthened her resolve. It was a reminder of the importance of respecting the creatures of the sea and the need to continue learning about them to ensure their conservation. In the following days, Hannah analyzed the data from the tags they had successfully placed. Each tag represented a small victory, a piece of the puzzle in understanding the complex lives of these magnificent creatures. Hannah's experience also led to the implementing of new safety protocols for her team. They introduced additional training sessions focusing on handling unexpected encounters with sharks. Hannah's encounter with the aggressive shark became a case study, a learning experience for her and her peers in marine biology. Hannah's respect for the ocean and its inhabitants deepened as she continued her work. She was more aware than ever of the delicate balance between human activity and the marine ecosystem. Her encounter with the great white shark was a powerful reminder of the beauty and danger that coexist in the ocean, a testament to the need for continued research and conservation efforts. Hannah's story spread among her colleagues and in the marine biology community, not as a tale of fear, but as a story of resilience and respect for the natural world. She became an advocate for shark conservation, using her experience to educate others about the importance of understanding and protecting these misunderstood creatures. Months later, Hannah returned to the waters of Gansbai, her passion for her work undiminished. With all its mysteries and dangers, the ocean continued to fascinate her. Each dive was a journey into the unknown, a chance to learn and contribute to understanding the marine world. Hannah's encounter with the great white shark remained a pivotal moment in her career, a reminder of the challenges and rewards of working with nature. It was an experience that shaped her path as a marine biologist, reinforcing her commitment to studying and preserving the ocean's magnificent creatures. In the sun-kissed waters off the coast of Western Australia, near the idyllic town of Coral Bay, the day dawned with a promise of adventure and scientific discovery. The azure waves lapped gently against the white sandy beaches, creating a picture of tranquility and untouched beauty. This area, known for its diverse marine life, was particularly famous for its population of tiger sharks, a species both fascinating and formidable. Dr. Emily Robinson, a marine conservationist and a respected expert in shark behavior, was preparing for a day that she hoped would contribute significantly to her research. Her longtime collaborator and friend, Jack Thompson, an experienced diver and wildlife photographer, was with her. Their mission was to tag tiger sharks to study their migratory patterns. This project combined their passion for marine conservation with the thrill of close encounters with these majestic predators. The morning at Coral Bay was splendid, with the sun casting a golden hue over the ocean. On July 10, 2004, Emily and Jack, equipped with their tagging gear, underwater cameras, and safety equipment, set out on their boat, the Ocean Whisperer. As they ventured into the deeper waters, the excitement was palpable. With her keen blue eyes and sun-streaked hair, Emily meticulously reviewed the tagging equipment. Jack checked the cameras with his easygoing nature and sharp wit, ensuring they were ready to capture the day's events. Tiger sharks, known for their distinct stripes and robust build, were a common sight in these parts. They were top predators, vital to the marine ecosystem, but often misunderstood. Emily's work aimed to shed light on their behavior, demystifying the myths surrounding them and advocating for their conservation. In Coral Bay, these sharks were often seen near the surface, making them perfect subjects for Emily's research. As the boat reached their destination, a known tiger shark hotspot, Emily and Jack prepared to enter the water. The ocean was clear, viewing the vibrant coral reefs below. Schools of colorful fish swam around, oblivious to the humans intruding into their world. Emily, with her years of experience, knew the risks involved. She had encountered sharks countless times, always with a sense of respect and caution. Today, however, felt different. There was an electrifying charge in the air, a suspicion that this day would be unlike any other. They had just located a suitable shark for tagging, a magnificent female tiger shark, approximately 12 feet long, gliding gracefully through the water. With her heart pounding, Emily readied the tagging pole while Jack positioned himself to capture the moment. As Emily leaned over the side of the boat, her focus entirely on the shark, the unexpected happened. The tiger shark, perhaps sensing the intrusion or acting spontaneously, turned sharply toward her. The shark's demeanor changed from curious to aggressive in a split second. Before Emily could react, the shark lunged, its mighty jaws clamping down on her leg. The force of the attack pulled her from the boat, plunging her into the churning waters. The tranquility of Coral Bay was shattered by her screams and the sudden thrashing in the water. Jack, stunned for a moment, sprang into action. He knew he had to act fast to save his friend. Grabbing a spare pole, he plunged into the water, his mind racing with the knowledge that every second mattered in this life-or-death struggle. The shark, with Emily in its grip, was relentless. The predator's strength was overwhelming, but Emily, despite the excruciating pain, fought back with every ounce of her being. Her survival instincts and understanding of shark behavior were her only weapons in this dire situation. The radio crackled to life in the boat as Jack's distress call echoed across the waves, calling for help. Meanwhile, the struggle continued in the water, a terrifying dance of human resilience and animal might. The attack seemed to last an eternity. Using her knowledge of sharks, Emily tried to fend off the creature, targeting its sensitive spots. Surprised by her resistance, the tiger shark momentarily loosened its grip, giving Jack a small window to intervene. He reached Emily, his movements deliberate and swift, trying to create a barrier between her and the shark. His presence distracted the animal, and it seemed to lose interest in its prey briefly. As they fought to stay afloat, the sound of approaching help filled the air. The rescue team, alerted by Jack's call, was closing in, racing against time to save Emily from the jaws of the tiger shark. As the rescue boat sliced through the waters towards Emily and Jack, the situation in the water teetered on the edge of calamity. Emily, her leg in the vice-like grip of the tiger shark, fought to keep her head above the water, her face contorted in pain. With a mixture of fear and determination in his eyes, Jack tried desperately to shield her from further attacks. The tiger shark, a creature of instinct and power, circled them, its black, soulless eyes assessing its prey. Emily, a blend of agony and resolve, knew her movements could provoke another attack or encourage the shark to leave. Drawing upon her deep knowledge of shark behavior, she attempted to remain still, conserving her waning strength. Jack, realizing the gravity of the situation, positioned himself between Emily and the shark, ready to fend it off if it came closer. His actions were a mix of bravery and desperation, a friend protecting another against a force of nature. Finally, the rescue team arrived, their boat creating waves that rippled through the tense scene. Trained professionals, they acted swiftly. One of the rescuers, a skilled diver, jumped into the water, a spear gun in hand, ready to defend against the shark if it attacked again. They managed to get Emily onto a stretcher in a carefully coordinated effort. Her injuries were severe, but her spirit was unbroken. Exhausted yet relieved, Jack helped the rescuers, his gaze never leaving Emily. The tiger shark, perhaps deterred by the commotion or satisfied with its assault, slowly disappeared into the ocean's depths. The medical team frantically stabilized Emily as the boat sped back to shore. Her injuries were grave. The shark's teeth had torn through muscle and bone, leaving her in a critical state. His hands trembling, Jack stayed by her side, offering words of comfort, trying to keep her conscious. Back on land, an ambulance was waiting. Emily was rushed to the nearest hospital, where a team of doctors was prepared for her arrival. Her journey from the tranquil waters of Coral Bay to the sterile hospital environment was a testament to her resilience and the unpredictable dangers of the natural world. In the days that followed, the news of Emily's attack made headlines. The incident, a stark reminder of the risks faced by those who venture into the wild, sparked debates about wildlife conservation and the need for respectful coexistence. Emily's recovery was slow but steady. Her injuries were life-changing, but her spirit remained undaunted. Supported by Jack, her family, and the global conservation community, she faced rehabilitation with the same courage she had shown in the waters that day. In time, Emily returned to the ocean, her love for it undiminished. She continued her work, more aware than ever of the delicate balance between human activity and the natural world. Her story, a blend of terror and triumph, served as an inspiration to many, a reminder of the power of the human spirit in the face of adversity. The first light of dawn gracefully unfurled over the tranquil shores of Maui, casting a mesmerizing array of colors that danced upon the waves. Jonathan Harris, a young adventurer with an insatiable thirst for the untamed wonders of the ocean, stood on the precipice of a beach holiday in the year 2002. Little did he know, the sun-soaked beauty of the tropical paradise would become the canvas for an untold story. A story that would thrust him into the depths of an unforeseen abyss. Clad in his favored ebony wetsuit, Jonathan approached the shoreline where the cool breeze whispered tales of adventures yet to unfold. The rhythmic cadence of the waves promised a dance with the untamed forces of the deep. This beach, however, was no ordinary expanse of sand. It was a hidden cove cradled against cliffs, each precipice safeguarding nature etched into the very fabric of the landscape. The story led to the untamed wonders lying dormant, awaiting revelation. The anticipation was not just for a story, but for an immersive experience that would carve its place in the tapestry of the incident. Venturing deeper into the ocean, Jonathan's figure became a lone silhouette, an explorer standing against the canvas of the waking sea. The sun, now ascending higher, cast long shadows that transformed the playful sparkle of the waves into an enigmatic dance of light and shadow. Unbeknownst to him, the shallows concealed a predatory force, an entity that embodied the very essence of untamed nature, lurking beneath the surface like a shadow in waiting. The narrative started taking a darker turn. The immersive tale had started changing to a realm where the extraordinary replaced the ordinary. With unwavering confidence, Jonathan swam more profoundly into the abyss. The subtle disturbance in the water, unnoticed by his untrained eye, hinted at an impending revelation. As he reached the precipice, a colossal shadow emerged. A predatory shark, its streamlined form a symbol of ruthless efficiency. In the tense moments that followed, Jonathan felt the pressure of the feral struggle, his ability to survive on a razor's edge. Wearing his black wetsuit, now showing signs of the encounter, it clung to his bruised limbs. The shark's fast moves left him with small cuts, a reminder of the dangers in the seemingly serene tropical paradise. Its razor-sharp teeth had grazed against Jonathan's wetsuit, leaving behind faint yet stinging wounds that bore witness to the intensity of the untamed struggle. Each calculated maneuver by the shark contributed to the narrative etched on Jonathan's body, a testament to the raw power and danger lurking beneath the ocean's surface. Despite these hurts, Jonathan stayed surprisingly calm, moving through the water with a determination matching the silent battle between him and the shark. The untamed situation hung in the balance, keeping everyone on edge, waiting for the crucial moment that would reshape the whole story. The conflict, now established, was a gripping narrative of survival, pitting human will against nature's unforgiving force. Surprisingly composed in the face of adversity, Jonathan became a beacon of resilience. The struggle between predator and prey played out in a silent dance, the shark circling its quarry with a primal precision that bespoke the untamed nature of the deep. The narrative had been trapped in a story that held the captive in the throes of suspense. The resolution, however, remained elusive, a strategic choice that kept the incident on the edge of what would happen next, yearning for the pivotal moment that would unravel the untamed tale. The ocean's depths echoed with the primal dance of predator and prey, and as the shark circled with menacing precision, a palpable tension hung in the air. In those heart-pounding moments, the untamed encounter teetered on the edge of chaos, testing Jonathan's resolve. With every silent sweep of the shark through the shallows, the line between survival and succumbing to the untamed forces blurred. Yet, in the face of this dangerous confrontation, Jonathan's resilience shone through. Through an uncanny connection with the ocean, he navigated the depths of danger, inching closer to a solution that would redefine the narrative of this untamed tale. Beneath the surface, where the sunlight struggled to penetrate, a massive force awaited. The shallows, once a playground for beachgoers, harbored a predator that embodied the untamed essence of the ocean. As Jonathan swam further, the sun casting long shadows, the water transformed into a realm of uncertainty. The unseen abyss concealed beneath the waves beckoned with an allure that blended beauty and danger. The clash between the serene surface and the lurking unknown set the stage for an untamed encounter that would redefine Jonathan's perception of the ocean's depths. As dawn bathed the scene in a warm golden glow, the shark swam away into the abyss as if acknowledging the bond forged in the depths. In the aftermath, Jonathan cleaned the wounds with antiseptic, applying bandages to ensure protection from infection. A sense of relief washed over him as he addressed the physical toll, acknowledging the bruises and cuts as souvenirs from the untamed adventure. With a blend of resilience and practicality, Jonathan allowed the healing process to take its course. Rest became a crucial component of his recovery, and he took the time to reflect on the untamed beauty he had encountered, appreciating the scars as reminders of a narrative that transcended the ordinary. The conflict had not been resolved through aggression, but through a connection that defied the norm, leaving them with a profound appreciation for the wonders that lurked beneath the surface. As Jonathan stood on the shore in the aftermath, the echoes of this untamed adventure lingered in the air. With its mysteries and wonders, the wild world had left an indelible mark on those who had glimpsed its depths. The hidden cove, once a backdrop to tales of yore, now stood as a living testament to the untamed forces that shaped the narrative of Jonathan's beach holiday. An untamed encounter that transcended the ordinary, redefining the boundaries between man and the wild. The end, marked by the shark's retreat into the abyss, held a poignant resonance. Jonathan emerged from the water, his silhouette against the golden sunrise, embodying a newfound respect for the untamed beauty he had encountered. David Miller's vacation to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia was supposed to be a serene escape from his hectic life as a marketing consultant in Sydney. The allure of the reef, with its vibrant marine life and crystal-clear waters, had beckoned him for years. Finally succumbing to his longing, David booked a week-long stay at a remote resort on one of the many picturesque islands dotting the reef. On his first morning at the resort, David woke up before dawn. The excitement of being in such a pristine environment, far from the noise and bustle of the city, had filled him with an uncharacteristic energy. He started his day with a swim to connect with the natural beauty surrounding him. The sun was just beginning to rise, painting the sky in hues of pink and orange as David made his way to the beach. The air was fresh and cool, a gentle breeze rustling the leaves of the palm trees. The beach was deserted at this early hour. The only sounds were the gentle lapping of the waves and the distant calls of seabirds. David stood at the water's edge, taking in the serene beauty of the dawn. He felt a sense of peace wash over him, starkly contrasting his usually hectic life. With a deep breath, he waded into the water, the coolness of the ocean a pleasant shock to his system. As he swam, David marveled at the clarity of the water. He could see the sandy bottom, small fish darting around his legs, a world of life beneath the surface. He swam further out, relishing the feeling of freedom, the weightlessness of being enveloped by the ocean. After about 20 minutes of swimming, David decided to head back to shore. He had a full day ahead, with plans to go snorkeling on the reef and try his hand at diving. Turning back, he noticed a school of fish in the distance, their silver bodies glinting in the morning light. They seemed agitated, hurrying in a way that seemed unusual. Curious, David paused to watch them treading water. Then he felt a sudden shift in the water, a sense of something moving swiftly beneath him. His heart rate quickened, a mix of excitement and a hint of apprehension. He knew the reef was home to many creatures, but he hadn't expected to encounter anything significant on his early morning swim. The movement in the water grew closer, and David could now see a dark shape approaching. At first he thought it might be a dolphin, a common sight in these waters. But as it neared, he realized this was no dolphin. It was much larger, its movements more deliberate. A chill ran down his spine as the shape became clearer. A shark's sleek body easily cut through the water. Panic surged through David. He knew he needed to remain calm, that frantic movements could attract the shark's attention. But being alone, far from shore, with a shark approaching, was a situation he was wholly unprepared for. The shark circled him, its large dark eyes seeming to assess him. David tried to recall everything he had ever read or heard about shark encounters. He kept his movements slow, making himself appear less like prey. He knew he had to return to shore, but the distance seemed insurmountable. As he started to swim back, keeping his movements deliberate and even, the shark continued to circle. David's mind raced with thoughts of his family, his friends, and the life he had yet to live. He wondered if anyone had noticed he was missing, and if anyone would come looking for him. The sun had fully risen, its light sparkling on the water, starkly contrasting the fear and uncertainty that gripped David. He swam with desperation and caution, every stroke a silent prayer for safety. As David neared the halfway point to the shore, the shark abruptly changed its behavior. With a sudden burst of speed, it darted towards him. David's heart leaped into his throat. In a split second, he made a decision. He stopped swimming and held his ground, or rather his water. He had read somewhere that sharks might lose interest if their prey doesn't act like one. The shark circled him once more and then swam away into the depths with a powerful flick of its tail. The relief David felt was short-lived. As he resumed swimming, the shark returned, approaching him from below. David felt a sharp pain in his leg as the shark's teeth grazed him. A warning bite, not a predatory one. The shark was curious, not necessarily intent on attacking, but even a curious shark was dangerously unpredictable. Bleeding and in pain, David pushed through the shock. He knew he had to keep moving despite the throbbing in his leg. The shore was closer now, but each stroke felt agonizingly slow. He focused on the rhythm of his breathing, trying to keep calm in the face of fear and pain. Finally, David reached the shallow waters. He stumbled out of the ocean, dragging himself onto the sand, away from the water's edge. He collapsed, breathing heavily, looking at his injured leg. The bite was deep, but had missed any major arteries. He was lucky. He looked back at the ocean, the sun now fully up, its rays glittering on the surface like countless diamonds. It was hard to reconcile the scene's beauty with the terror he had just experienced. A jogger out for a morning run spotted David and immediately came to his aid, calling for emergency services. As David waited, he couldn't help but think about the shark. It was a creature of its environment, acting on instinct. He didn't feel anger or hatred towards it. Instead, there was an odd sense of respect. He had intruded into its world, and it had asserted its presence. The paramedics arrived swiftly and tended to David's wounds. The bite required stitches, and he was given a tetanus shot and antibiotics to prevent infection. His physical injuries would heal, but David knew that the psychological impact of the encounter would stay with him. At the resort, David spent time recovering and reflecting on his experience. He had always respected the ocean, but now his respect was coupled with a deeper understanding of its wild nature. The shark encounter was a stark reminder of how unpredictable and powerful the natural world could be. The following days, David sat on the beach watching the waves. He didn't venture back into the water, not yet. He needed time to process what had happened. But he knew that this experience wouldn't deter him from swimming or diving in the future. It was a part of who he was, a connection to nature he couldn't deny. David felt mixed emotions as he prepared to leave the Great Barrier Reef. What had started as a tranquil vacation had turned into a life-changing ordeal. He was going home with a scar that would forever remind him of the encounter. But more importantly, he was going home with a renewed sense of awe for the ocean and its inhabitants, a reminder of how precious and precarious life could be. David's experience at the Great Barrier Reef was a testament to nature's unpredictability and the human spirit's resilience. It was an encounter that he would never forget, a story of survival, respect, and the enduring power of the natural world. The sun beat down on the turquoise waters off the coast of northern Australia. Dr. Elias Thorne adjusted his goggles, a flicker of anticipation in his eyes. This wasn't just field work, but an escape from the endless grant proposals and cramped labs back home. He was in his element amidst the dazzling coral reefs of the Flinders Archipelago. Elias had always been drawn to the ocean. Growing up in a landlocked state fostered a lifelong fascination with its mysteries. He wasn't a daredevil, more a methodical mind who loved solving nature's puzzles. Now in his 40s, his weathered skin and laugh line spoke of countless expeditions. Yet, even with a wife and 2 daughters waiting back home, the call of the wild always lured him back. His research focused on the Flinders' unique population of bull sharks. Renowned for their aggression and ability to survive in freshwater, They were both a terrifying marvel and a scientific enigma. Along with his assistant Maya, today's dive was meant to map their migratory patterns further, which is vital in understanding their impact on the ecosystem. It was early June 2000. A warm day on the Flinders was a contrast study. The scorching sun versus the shocking chill of the deeper water, the vibrant life teeming just below the deceptively calm surface. Elias and Maya checked their gear, a practiced routine honed over years of working together. He glanced at Maya, her dark eyes sparkling with a shared passion for their work. The dive began smoothly. Sharks were naturally wary, their keen senses detecting them long before any visual contact. The trick was patience, observe but don't intrude. Elias tracked a few smaller specimens, noting their behavior. Then, a flash of movement, much more extensive, bolder. A mature bull shark approached, 10 feet long and built like a torpedo. Bull sharks didn't get this big without a healthy appetite and a bad attitude. Yet the calculated way it moved suggested curiosity, not immediate hostility. They monitored it cautiously, Elias snapping photos as it slowly circled them. He recognized the pattern. The shark was testing and sizing them up. This was its territory, and these strange, bubble-blowing creatures were potential rivals. He felt excitement. This was the kind of encounter he lived for. He signaled to Maya that it was time to ascend. The ascent was slow, a safety precaution ingrained in Elias. That's when it hit. A surge of adrenaline masked the initial wave of pain. The bull shark struck from below, the force of the impact knocking the regulator from his mouth. Water rushed in, panic threatening to drown him. He thrashed, instinctively kicking at the massive shape now tearing at his leg. Maya screamed through her regulator, bubbles swirling in agitation around them. Elias wasn't a fighter by nature, but survival sometimes demanded brutality. He clawed at the shark's eyes, gouging for any purchase. Its rough hide scraped his bare hands bloody. Another vicious snap and searing pain shot through his calf. The world was contracting, a red haze blurring his vision. He had seconds. With a desperate surge, he shoved the heavy camera at the creature's snout. The surprise impact bought him a split-second advantage. Elias grabbed Maya's tank, propelling them upwards. The pain throbbed in waves, nausea swirling in his gut. His vision was tunneling, the surface an impossibly distant speck of light. They broke through, gasping for air. His leg was an explosion of agony. Maya got him to the boat, the small craft now awash in blood. She screamed for the satellite phone and fumbled with the emergency beacon. Her words barely registered in Elias's ears. The shark circled, relentless in its hunger. Each agonizing bump against the boat sent fresh shockwaves through his mangled leg. It lunged again, narrowly missing Maya. They were sitting ducks, a gruesome feast just waiting for it to claim. The time it was fractured. Was this how it ended? Not in a lab, in some sterile hospital bed, but devoured piece by piece here. A strange clarity washed over him. His daughter's faces, laughing in the summer sun. His wife, her gentle smile. The steadfast belief in his work even when it took him so far away. With desperate strength, Elias ripped off his weight belt, the remaining air tank attached. Hefting it over his head, he roared defiance, slamming the tank against the water next to the boat with all the force he could muster. The shark flinched, startled by the noise. He did it again and again. The tank pounded the water, creating a confusing cacophony. Finally, the relentless shadow disappeared back into the depths. Elias collapsed, his body a flaming wreck. Maya's voice was distant, muffled. She was securing a makeshift tourniquet, the radio crackling with the crackly voice of the Coast Guard. Help was on the way, but he knew it might be hours. The water was chilling, and with his blood loss, hypothermia was a real threat. The sun began its descent, a final indignity. Was this it? Survival was never about winning. It was about enduring. He looked up at Maya, her eyes brimming with determination. They'd make it. They had to. Night settled, and still, they clung to life. Floating in and out of consciousness, Elias heard the chopper before he saw it. Rescue, a chance. But his ordeal had only just begun. The hospital was a blur of lights and needles. He underwent emergency surgery, hovering for days on the knife's edge between life and permanent disability. The shark took more than his leg. It took his certainty. The ocean, once his playground, now loomed as a vast, unpredictable threat. Yet the human spirit is stubborn. Through grueling rehabilitation, Elias relearned how to walk and navigate his life with this brutal new reality. Support from his family, from Maya, and a surprising outpouring of concern from the scientific community became his lifeline. He never returned to fieldwork. Instead, he found new ways to contribute. His research focused more intently on shark conservation, driven by a chilling, hard-earned understanding. The Flinders Archipelago remained a bittersweet memory, a testament to the fragility of life and the enduring power of survival. Emerald Bay, a picturesque stretch of coastline in South Africa, was bustling with activity on August 22, 2009. It was a paradise for surfers known for its perfect waves and clear waters. Among them was 26-year-old Jack Harrison, a seasoned surfer passionate about riding the waves. Joining him was his girlfriend, Mia Thompson, a 24-year-old photographer and nature enthusiast. Jack was a familiar face at Emerald Bay with his sun-bleached hair and tanned skin. He had grown up on these shores, learning to respect and navigate the ocean's unpredictable nature. Mia, with her keen eye for beauty, loved capturing the essence of the sea and the surfers who challenged it. The couple arrived early, excited about the day ahead. The weather was perfect, with a light breeze and the sun casting a golden hue over the water. Jack waxed his surfboard, a ritual he performed meticulously, while Mia set up her camera equipment, eager to catch the day's best moments. As Jack paddled out, Mia watched from the shore, her camera lens following his every move. Emerald Bay's waters were known to be a habitat for various marine life, including the formidable tiger shark. Jack was well aware of the risks, but his love for surfing eclipsed any fear. He had learned to read the ocean's signs, always staying alert for any unusual movement in the water. The local surfers respected and feared tiger sharks, known for their distinct stripes and robust build. These creatures, capable of growing up to 5 meters in length, were known to be curious and occasionally aggressive, especially if they felt threatened or were attracted by erratic movements. Jack caught wave after wave, his skills on full display. Mia's camera clicked continuously, capturing his fluid movements and the sheer joy on his face. The morning passed in a blur of adrenaline and laughter. As noon approached, Jack decided to catch one last wave before taking a break. He paddled further out, waiting for the perfect swell. The water around him was calm, the surface glistening under the midday sun. Suddenly, without warning, a large shadow loomed beneath him. Jack's heart skipped a beat as he realized it was a tiger shark, its stripes visible through the clear water. In a split second, the shark struck, its mighty jaws clamping down on Jack's leg. Panic surged through him as he fought to free himself. The shark shook its head violently, trying to drag him under. Jack's screams echoed across the water, reaching Mia on the shore. She dropped her camera and ran towards the lifeguard station, shouting for help. On the beach, chaos erupted as surfers and sunbathers scrambled to assist. Lifeguards sprang into action, launching their boat towards Jack's location. Perhaps startled by the commotion, the shark released Jack and disappeared into the depths. Jack, bleeding profusely and in shock, struggled to stay afloat. His leg was severely injured, the damage extensive. The lifeguards reached him just in time, pulling him onto their boat and rushing him back to shore. Mia, frantic with worry, met them as they landed. Jack was barely conscious, his face pale and his body trembling. Emergency services arrived swiftly, their sirens piercing the air. As paramedics attended to Jack, Mia held his hand, tears streaming down her face. The beachgoers watched in stunned silence as Jack was loaded into the ambulance. The attack had shaken the community, a grim reminder of nature's unpredictability and the inherent risks of their beloved sport. As the ambulance raced to the hospital, Mia followed closely behind, her mind reeling with fear for Jack's life. The serene beauty of Emerald Bay had been overshadowed by a terrifying encounter, a day that started with joy and ended in tragedy. At the hospital, the reality of the situation set in. Jack's injuries were critical. The doctors worked tirelessly, performing multiple surgeries in an attempt to save his leg and stabilize his condition. Mia sat in the waiting room, her hands clasped tightly, praying for a miracle. Hours turned into days as Jack fought for his life. Despite the doctor's best efforts, the damage caused by the shark attack was too severe. Jack's condition worsened, and he slipped into a coma. Mia stayed by his side, whispering words of love and encouragement, hoping he could hear her. She reminisced about their adventures, plans for the future, and the love that had brought them to Emerald Bay. The hospital staff, moved by Mia's devotion, did everything they could to support her. Friends and family gathered, offering comfort and sharing in the grief of the unfolding tragedy. On the fourth day, Jack's battle came to an end. His injuries were too extensive, and his body could no longer withstand the strain. With Mia holding his hand, Jack passed away, leaving a void that could never be filled. The news of Jack's death spread quickly, sending shockwaves through the surfing community. A memorial was set up on the beach where surfers paid their respects, laying flowers and sharing stories of Jack's passion for the ocean. Mia, heartbroken and lost, found solace in the memories they had created. She knew Jack's spirit would always be a part of Emerald Bay, riding the waves he loved. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the local authorities implemented stricter safety measures and increased awareness about the presence of tiger sharks in the area. Surfers and beachgoers were reminded to be vigilant and to respect the ocean's inhabitants. Jack's story became a poignant reminder of the beauty and danger of the sea. His legacy lived on in the hearts of those who knew him, a testament to the courage and spirit of a surfer who loved the ocean, even in the face of its greatest predators. Mia eventually returned to the beach, her gaze fixed on the horizon. The sea, with its endless waves, continued to beckon, but its allure was now tinged with a profound respect and a sense of loss. In the rhythm of the waves, she found a connection to Jack, a reminder that life, like the ocean, is beautiful, unpredictable, and sometimes heartbreakingly harsh. The coastal town of Crestwood Bay, nestled between rugged cliffs and the ever-expansive Pacific Ocean, exuded a timeless charm. Its history echoed in the creaking beams of Captain Ezekiel Pierce's lighthouse, a sentinel overlooking the azure expanse. With her fiery red hair and a spirit as untamed as the waves she rode, Serena Lawson had become synonymous with the town's aspirations. The year was 2010, and the anticipation for the upcoming windsurfing championship hung thick in the salty air. Fueled by an unyielding passion for her craft, Serena embarked on a rigorous practice regimen that brought her into harmony with the rhythmic symphony of the ocean. The sun lay low on the horizon, casting a warm glow over the waters as she glided with the grace of a seabird. Crestwood Bay, once a thriving fishing village, now held the quiet echoes of maritime tales and the secrets of long-lost shipwrecks, a testament to the rich history that Serena navigated with each windsurfing adventure. The winds whispered long stories as Serena, oblivious to the looming twist of fate, carved through the water. Meanwhile, Captain Ezekiel Pierce, the town's elder, observed her from the time-worn lighthouse. During one of these serene practices, nature seemed to rebel against the status quo. A colossal wave, ominous and unannounced, rose from the depths, crashing with relentless force against Serena's board. The impact sent her sprawling into the churning sea, a sudden plunge into the heart of an unpredictable arena. Disoriented and breathless, Serena surfaced to a surreal isolation. The vastness of the ocean stretched in every direction, and the adrenaline-fueled excitement of the competition faded into the haunting solitude of the open sea. Little did she know that this unplanned encounter would unveil a giant shark known as Leviathan. Beneath the surface, shadows stirred. Unbeknownst to Serena, the commotion had roused the curiosity of a great white shark, a marine giant known to the locals as Leviathan. As Serena floated, vulnerable and alone, the predator emerged from the depths, a living legend that had shared an unspoken pact with the town decades ago. After that wild windsurfing mishap in Crestwood Bay, Serena was pretty banged up. She had bruises from the unexpected wave tossing her around, and she was scared out of her wits when Leviathan, the big shark, showed up. She had to ditch her trashed windsurfing board and swim for it, hoping the shark wouldn't decide she was its next meal. As the town mobilized a search party, unaware of the unfolding drama in the open sea, Serena's strength waned, and the tension reached its zenith. During Serena's encounter with the great white shark, something changed. the great white shark followed her closely, creating a connection that felt unusual, a pact that Serena unknowingly invoked as she swam, locked in a delicate balance between predator and prey. Meanwhile, the town grappled with Serena's disappearance, and the ocean, once a playground, became an unpredictable abyss. In the climax of this harrowing encounter, a subtle shift occurred. The great white shark veered away, disappearing into the depths with a graceful flick of its tail. Serena, exhausted and bewildered, emerged from the water to the jubilation of the rescue party. With bated breath, the town listened to her harrowing tale, struggling to reconcile the inexplicable events that had unfolded beneath the waves. Back on land, Serena tended to her injuries as best as she could, dealing with the aftermath of this encounter. The town got wind of her wild tale and had left everyone scratching their heads. Serena, once this windsurfing champ, now had the physical reminders of a struggle with the unpredictability of the ocean. The town, forever changed by the mysterious bond forged beneath the waves, struggled to come to terms with the incident at Crestwood Bay. Having experienced the unfathomable, Serena withdrew from competitive windsurfing, forever haunted by the untamed depths that had spared her life. Serena's withdrawal from competitive windsurfing, marked by a haunting reticence, sent ripples through the tight-knit community of Crestwood Bay. The once boisterous windsurfing champion now wandered the shores in quiet contemplation, her gaze often drawn to the expansive ocean that had both nurtured and tested her. The townsfolk, who had witnessed the inexplicable encounter between Serena and Leviathan, grappled with a newfound reverence for the depths that surrounded them. As Serena navigated her internal tumult, the town buzzed with speculative murmurs. Captain Ezekiel Pierce, now a living repository of maritime wisdom, observed Serena's transformation with a solemn understanding. His eyes, the storyteller's lanterns, held a depth of knowledge that transcended mere anecdotes. The legend of his unspoken pact with the great white shark became a whispered narrative, a parable shared among the residents of Crestwood Bay. In the wake of Serena's withdrawal, the coastal town underwent a subtle metamorphosis. The once thriving windsurfing culture took a back seat to a more contemplative appreciation for the ocean's unpredictable beauty. Crestwood Bay became a haven for those seeking solace in the rhythmic cadence of the waves, a place where the tangible and the mystical coexisted in the salty breeze. Inspired by the unspoken pact that had spared Serena's life, the town's elders initiated efforts to conserve and protect the marine life that called the bay home. A newfound harmony between man and nature emerged, a delicate balance maintained by the collective understanding that had surfaced from Serena's harrowing encounter. Once a silent witness to maritime tales, the lighthouse became a beacon of conservation, its light symbolic of a shared responsibility towards the untamed realms of the ocean. Meanwhile, Serena grappled with the aftermath of her encounter. Dreams of windsurfing glory collided with the haunting memory of the shark's gaze. The ocean, once her ally, now held a wondrous allure that both beckoned and repelled. Seeking solace, she found herself drawn to the lighthouse, where Captain Pierce, the keeper of maritime secrets, offered a quiet companionship. Serena and the old captain embarked on a journey to unravel the wonders that bound their fates. The winds of change whispered through the coastal town, fusing the past with the present in a dance of untamed narratives. As the years passed, Crestwood Bay became a symbol of coexistence between humanity and the natural forces of nature. The legend of Serena and the great white shark, woven into the fabric of the town's lore, inspired a new generation to approach the ocean with reverence rather than fear. Once the pinnacle of Crestwood Bay's identity, the windsurfing championship transformed into a celebration of the delicate balance maintained by those who had learned to navigate the unpredictable currents of life. Having found a sense of closure and purpose, Serena had become an ambassador for marine conservation. Her voice echoed through schools and community gatherings, a testament to the transformative power of untamed encounters. In the twilight of his years, Captain Ezekiel Pierce watched with pride as the town he had silently guarded embraced a newfound harmony with the ocean. Crestwood Bay stood as a living testament to the delicate dance between humanity and the untamed forces that shape our existence. The lighthouse, perched on the cliffs, cast its unwavering light over a town that had learned to embrace the mysteries of the ocean with open hearts and a shared understanding. an understanding forged in the depths of a harrowing encounter between a fearless windsurfer and the guardian of the deep, the great white shark. In the serene waters surrounding the Neptune Islands, Australia, renowned for its rich marine life and breathtaking beauty, Lydia Bennett, a 28-year-old environmental scientist and avid swimmer, embarked on her most challenging adventure yet. It was the summer of 2021, a year that brought Lydia joy and hardship. After recovering from a knee injury, she had set her sights on competing in an open-water swimming race, pushing her limits in the vast, unpredictable ocean. Lydia's connection to the ocean was profound. Raised in a small coastal town near Adelaide, the sea had always mesmerized her. The ocean was her escape, her sanctuary, where the rhythm of the waves matched the beat of her heart. As a child, she'd listened to her grandfather's tales of the sea, stories of beauty and danger, of creatures both majestic and fearsome. Those tales now resonated more than ever as she prepared for the race. Training in open water was different from a pool's still waters. Lydia knew that. She understood the ocean's temperament and respected its power. But the Neptune Islands held a reputation that both thrilled and intimidated her. Known for their population of great white sharks, these waters were as beautiful as they were daunting. One crisp morning, under the watchful eye of the rising sun, Lydia set out in her boat with her trainer, Marcus Flint. Marcus, a former professional swimmer, had been Lydia's mentor for years. His confidence in her abilities was unwavering, but that day, he felt a twinge of apprehension as he reminded her to respect the ocean and always be aware of her surroundings. His voice a blend of concern and encouragement. They reached a secluded spot, far from the usual tourist trails. The water was crystal clear, reflecting the azure sky. Lydia looked over the boat's edge in her sleek swimming suit with goggles firmly in place. She could see the shadowy outlines of fish darting below. Taking a deep breath, she dove in. The cool water enveloped her, a familiar embrace. She began her rhythm, each stroke a testament to her determination. Marcus watched from the boat, scanning the waters, always alert. Lydia felt free, her body moving with grace and strength. She loved this feeling, the sense of being one with the sea. About 30 minutes into her swim, Lydia's heart raced. Not from exertion, but from a chilling sensation that she wasn't alone. She paused, treading water, and looked around. The tranquility of the morning was deceptive. A dark shape about 20 feet away caught her eye. Her heart skipped a beat as she recognized the distinct outline of a great white shark, its dorsal fin cutting through the water like a blade. Panic surged through Lydia's veins. She knew better than to thrash about, to show fear, but every instinct screamed at her to flee. The shark circled, a curious yet terrifying presence. Lydia remembered her grandfather's advice. In the ocean, you must be as smart as you are brave. She began to swim back towards the boat, steady and deliberate, trying not to provoke the predator. Marcus had seen the shark and was frantically starting the engine, his voice calling out to her. The distance seemed to stretch endlessly, each stroke an eternity. As Lydia neared the boat, the shark accelerated, its primal instincts triggered. Her heart pounded in her chest, her breaths short and rapid. The shark was close now, too close. Lydia could see its massive form beneath the water, a dark shadow of impending danger. She reached for the boat, fingers grazing the edge when the shark made its move. In that heart-stopping moment, as the great white shark lunged towards her with its daunting jaws wide open, Lydia's mind raced with a whirlwind of fear and determination. Time seemed to slow down, each second stretching into eternity. Her training, love for the ocean, and will to survive all came crashing together in a surge of adrenaline. With an agility born of panic and instinct, Lydia dove under the shark, narrowly avoiding its gaping mouth. She remembered an old trick her grandfather had mentioned, sharks being less able to maneuver quickly in deeper waters. Her lungs screamed for air, but she dove deeper, pushing her body to its limits. Above her, the shark turned, its massive body a terrifying spectacle in the clear water. Lydia could see Marcus shouting and throwing something into the water on the boat, a distraction. It was a risky move, but it gave her a precious few seconds. She swam with all her might, her muscles burning, her mind focused on reaching the boat. The shark, drawn away by the commotion, gave Lydia the chance she needed. She surfaced, gasping for air, just a few feet from the boat. Marcus reached out, his hands grasping hers in a firm grip. With a strength she didn't know she had, Lydia propelled herself out of the water and into the boat, collapsing onto the deck. Her heart pounded against her ribcage like a drum, her breaths coming in ragged gasps. Marcus was immediately at her side, his face a mask of concern and relief. He kept reassuring her that she was okay, even though Lydia could barely hear him over her heartbeat. The shark, its curiosity seemingly satisfied, had disappeared into the depths. The danger was over, but the echo of it lingered in Lydia's trembling limbs. She lay there looking up at the sky, the color of the ocean reflected in its vast expanse. She had faced her worst fear, had stared into the eyes of one of nature's most formidable predators, and had survived. The journey back to shore was a blur. Lydia sat silently, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the water. She thought about the shark, about the power and grace of such a creature. She realized that her respect for the ocean had deepened, tinged now with a profound understanding of its dangers. When they finally reached the dock, Lydia's story quickly spread among the locals. Her encounter with the great white shark became the talk of the town, a tale of bravery and survival against incredible odds. But for Lydia, it was more than that. It was a life-changing experience, a reminder of how fragile yet strong she could be. Lydia's story reached beyond the small coastal town in the following weeks. It was shared in newspapers, social media, and local television. People were amazed by her courage and her ability to face such danger and come out alive. Lydia, however, found herself drawn back to the ocean, where she had faced her deepest fear. She continued to swim, to embrace the water that was an integral part of her being. The shark attack had not deterred her. Instead, it had forged a new connection with the sea rooted in respect and a deep understanding of the delicate balance between humans and nature. The open water race came and went. Lydia participated not to win, but to prove she could face her fears head-on. She didn't come in first, but crossing the finish line was a victory. Her encounter with the shark became a pivotal moment, a story she would tell for years. But more importantly, it was a testament to her resilience, respect for nature, and unyielding spirit. In the vast, unpredictable ocean, Lydia Bennett had found her strength, purpose, and place in the world. On the sun-drenched morning of July 16, 2010, the Coral Lagoon in Australia shimmered with inviting clarity. A paradise for marine enthusiasts, the lagoon, known for its vibrant coral reefs and diverse marine life, was a haven of tranquility. Daniel Thompson, a 28-year-old spearfishing lover, and his friend Mia Bennett set out for adventure in these inviting waters. Daniel, a seasoned spearfisher, and Mia, an enthusiastic underwater photographer, had planned this trip for weeks. Their excitement was palpable as they loaded their gear onto their small boat, the early morning sun casting a golden glow over the lagoon. The day they promised clear skies and calm waters, perfect conditions for exploring the underwater world of Coral Lagoon. As they set off, Mia chatted animatedly about the photograph she hoped to capture, her camera already in hand. Daniel, more focused, checked his spearfishing equipment, ensuring everything was in order. He had always been fascinated by the ocean, its mysteries, and dangers alike, and spearfishing was his way of connecting with this vast, unexplored world. Coral Lagoon was home to many marine species, but it was also known for its population of tiger sharks. These majestic yet formidable creatures were a common sight in the area. Though generally not aggressive towards humans, their presence demanded respect and caution. Daniel and Mia were aware of this. They had taken all necessary precautions and planned to stay within the safer zones of the lagoon. Upon reaching their destination, a serene spot surrounded by coral formations, they anchored the boat. Daniel donned his diving suit and prepared his spear while Mia readied her camera. The crystal-clear water offered a compelling view of the vibrant marine life below. As Daniel slipped into the water, the coolness enveloped him, bringing an instant rush of exhilaration. He moved gracefully, his eyes scanning the depths for fish. Above him, Mia kept a vigilant watch, her camera poised to capture the underwater drama. Unbeknownst to them, a tiger shark over 3 meters in length was silently approaching. Drawn by the activity, it moved with a stealth characteristic of apex predators. Daniel, focused on his target, was oblivious to the looming danger. Suddenly, Mia saw the massive silhouette. Her heart skipped a beat as she realized the gravity of the situation. She shouted a warning, but the water muffled her voice. Frantically, she signaled to Daniel, pointing towards the approaching shark. Daniel turned, and for a moment time stood still. He was face to face with the tiger shark, its cold eyes locking onto his. Panic surged through him, but his survival instincts kicked in. He knew he had to remain calm. Any sudden movement could provoke the shark. The shark, perhaps curious or sensing the spear as a threat, moved closer. Daniel held his spear defensively, trying to position himself away from the shark without appearing aggressive. The underwater dance was tense, each of Daniel's movements measured and deliberate. Then, without warning, the shark lunged. It was a swift, decisive move, its jaws snapping shut on Daniel's leg. Pain shot through him like lightning. He struggled to free himself, but the shark's grip was unyielding. Mia, witnessing the attack from above, dove into action. She knew she had to help Daniel, but realized that any rash move could escalate the situation. She dove into the water, heading straight towards them, her mind racing to find a way to distract the shark. As Mia reached them, the shark, perhaps startled by her presence, released Daniel. Blood clouded the water, a stark reminder of the shark's deadly capabilities. Daniel, in agony, tried to swim, but his leg was severely injured. With a remarkable presence of mind, Mia supported him, helping him stay afloat. She knew they needed to get back to the boat quickly. The shark, still nearby, circled them, its primal instincts at the forefront. Every stroke towards the boat was a battle against pain and fear. Daniel, fighting through the excruciating pain, relied heavily on Mia's strength. The ship seemed miles away, their progress agonizingly slow. Mia's shouts had alerted a nearby boat, and help was soon coming. As they reached their ship, Daniel's consciousness was fading. Mia, with Herculean effort, managed to get him aboard. She applied pressure to his wound, trying to stem the flow of blood. The other boat arrived, its crew quickly assessing the situation. They radioed for emergency medical help as they sped towards the shore. Daniel lay on the deck, his face pale, his breathing shallow. Mia, her hands covered in blood, stayed by his side, whispering words of encouragement. Back on shore, an ambulance was waiting. Daniel was rushed to the hospital, his condition critical. The shark's attack had left deep lacerations, the damage extensive. In the hospital, Daniel's fight for life continued. Surgeries followed, each one in a battle to save his leg and his life. Mia, along with Daniel's family, waited anxiously, the hospital corridors echoing their fears and hopes. Daniel's journey back to health was slow but steady. He returned to the ocean, not to spearfish, but to observe and respect the marine life from a safe distance. His experience was a harsh reminder of nature's unpredictability and the need for caution and respect in the wilderness. The tiger shark attack in Coral Lagoon became a life-altering event for Daniel. It was a story of survival, resilience, and the indomitable human spirit. This is a reminder that humans are not always the apex predators in the vast, untamed ocean. The year 2009, under the canvas of a breathtaking sunset, the ocean voyager sailed into the vastness of the Pacific, bound for the renowned waters off Mariner's Cove. Dr. Alexander Morrison, a distinguished marine biologist with a hunger for shark conservation, spearheaded a groundbreaking expedition to study and tag these majestic creatures. His team, consisting of fellow marine biologist Dr. Olivia Mitchell, seasoned underwater photographer Ethan Hayes, and the skilled Captain Rodrigo Fernandez, were eager to unravel the mysteries of the ocean's depths. The ocean voyager cut through the gentle waves as the team prepared for a night dive. Advanced tagging devices, underwater cameras, and a sense of anticipation filled the air. The crew, clad in sleek wetsuits, descended into the depths, guided by the glow of underwater lights illuminating the darkness. The ocean unveiled its wonders as the divers navigated through the aquatic realm. Schools of graceful fish danced beneath the moonlit surface, and the team marveled at the beauty that surrounded them. Dr. Morrison led the expedition, capturing the essence of the underwater world with each precise movement. However, the tranquility was shattered when an enormous shadow loomed in the distance. A great white shark, a behemoth among its kind, emerged from the depths with an air of unparalleled authority. The crew's excitement morphed into cautious vigilance as the colossal predator circled them, its eyes fixated on the intruders. Captain Fernandez, monitoring the safety of the vessel, watched the scene unfold with growing concern. The team received urgent warnings to the surface, but Dr. Morrison, driven by scientific curiosity, signaled for them to remain calm and retreat slowly. Before they could react, the colossal shark, fueled by an unknown aggression, lunged at the team. Chaos ensued as the water became a battleground between man and nature. The colossal shark, with a ferocity unseen before, targeted Dr. Morrison. The team, helpless witnesses to the underwater drama, could only listen to the frantic exchanges over the communication system. Dr. Morrison, displaying incredible composure and resilience, grappled with the aggressive predator, deploying the tagging device amid the chaotic encounter. The surface tension intensified as the crew, gripped by anxiety, pulled Dr. Morrison to safety. The massive shark, now tagged, vanished into the abyss, leaving behind a mixture of relief and unease. Back on the Ocean Voyager, the team struggled to comprehend the unforeseen aggression they had witnessed. After the shark encounter, Dr. Morrison's recovery was a slow but steady process. The bruises and injuries he sustained required medical attention. The crew aboard the Ocean Voyager, equipped with basic first aid supplies, tended to his wounds. They cleaned and dressed the injuries, applying simple bandages to promote healing. Emotionally, the support of his team played a crucial role in Dr. Morrison's recovery. They offered words of encouragement, shared their perspectives on the incident, and collectively processed the traumatic experience. The camaraderie among the crew members became a source of strength, helping Dr. Morrison navigate the psychological aftermath of facing a hostile shark. As the vessel sailed back to Mariner's Cove, the crew engaged in deep discussions about the unprecedented encounter. The vessel's dimly lit cabin buzzed with a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. Sitting at the center of the conversation, Dr. Morrison replayed the events in his mind. His eyes gleamed with a scientist's curiosity, eager to delve into the data collected from the aggressive shark. The crew members, nursing a cocktail of emotions, recounted their perspectives. Dr. Olivia Mitchell, the second in command, spoke passionately about the need to decipher the motivations behind the shark's aggression. Ethan Hayes, the underwater photographer, expressed awe at the raw power he had witnessed through the lens of his camera. Captain Fernandez, a weathered seafarer with a wealth of experience, voiced his concerns about the unpredictability of the ocean, acknowledging that even experts could be caught off guard. Upon returning to Mariner's Cove, Dr. Morrison sought professional medical care to ensure a thorough recovery. The local medical facilities provided additional treatment for his injuries, monitoring his progress closely. Beyond physical healing, Dr. Morrison engaged in conversations with mental health professionals to address any lingering emotional impact from the intense encounter. Back at Mariner's Cove, the team found themselves thrust into the spotlight. News outlets clamored for interviews, eager to capture the sensational tale of the marine biologist who stared down a hostile shark. The scientific community, equally intrigued, sought to analyze the collected data. Though reluctant to be in the limelight, Dr. Morrison recognized the importance of sharing their findings with the world. At the Mariner's Cove Marine Research Institute, the team conducted exhaustive analyses of the data. Late nights turned into early mornings as the researchers huddled around computer screens, scrutinizing every piece of information gleaned from the encounter. The marine biology community awaited their conclusions, and the pressure to deliver accurate and groundbreaking insights loomed over the team. The data revealed startling patterns in the behavior of the aggressive shark. In a series of presentations and conferences, Dr. Morrison unveiled findings that challenged existing theories. The scientific world, once skeptical, now stood in awe of the revelations that unfolded from the dangerous depths. The encounter not only highlighted the nature of the ocean, but also expanded the boundaries of scientific understanding. In the wake of their newfound fame, the team grappled with the dual responsibilities of scientific rigor and public outreach. Dr. Morrison, now a spokesperson for shark conservation, delivered impassioned speeches at conferences and educational institutions. The encounter not only advanced the understanding of sharks, but also sparked a global conversation about the delicate balance between scientific exploration and the untamed forces of nature. The team held subsequent expeditions that saw them exploring different regions, encountering various shark species, and contributing to growing knowledge. The aggressive encounter with the great white shark remained a pivotal moment, a reminder that the ocean was both a source of wonder and a realm of unpredictable challenges. In the scientific community, debate sparked by the team's findings led to collaborative efforts to unravel marine life's complexities further. The encounter with the hostile shark had ignited a collective curiosity, prompting researchers worldwide to delve into the intricacies of underwater ecosystems. As the years passed, Dr. Morrison went into uncharted waters and pushed the boundaries of marine science. Dr. Morrison's advocacy work bore fruit as policies supporting shark conservation gained traction. The once hostile encounter had transformed into a catalyst for positive change, demonstrating the resilience of both man and nature. The incident symbolized the delicate dance between scientific exploration and the untamed forces of the natural world. The Ocean Voyager continued to sail, its crew led by Dr. Morrison driven by an unwavering passion for understanding, respecting, and protecting the enigmatic world beneath the surface. The shimmering waters of Playa del Carmen, Mexico, were a diver's paradise, known for their clear visibility and abundant marine life. It was here in the summer of 2023 that 17-year-old Diego Martinez embarked on an adventure that would test his courage and resilience in ways he never imagined. Diego, a local teenager passionate about the sea, grew up on the tales of sunken treasures and mysterious shipwrecks told by his retired fisherman grandfather. These stories had fueled Diego's fascination with diving, and he had spent years honing his skills, exploring the underwater world that lay just off the coast of his hometown. On this particular day, the sun was high, casting a golden glow over the sea. Diego and his dive buddy, Luis, a seasoned instructor, planned to explore an old shipwreck, a site known to few and shrouded in mystery. The ship, a cargo vessel from the late 20th century, had sunk under mysterious circumstances and now lay at the bottom of the ocean, a relic of the past. As they prepared their gear, Diego felt a surge of excitement. He had dived many times before, but the allure of a shipwreck was something else entirely. It was like stepping into history, touching a story lost to the sea. Luis noticed Diego's enthusiasm and cautioned him to stay close and keep an eye on his surroundings, reminding him that shipwrecks can be unpredictable. The dive began smoothly. Diego and Luis descended into the crystal-clear waters, their bubbles trailing behind them like a string of pearls. The shipwreck appeared, a haunting silhouette against the sandy ocean floor. Fish of all colors darted around the structure, and for a moment Diego was lost in the beauty of it all. They explored the wreck, weaving through the skeletal remains of the ship. Diego's eyes were wide with wonder as he imagined the stories hidden within these rusted walls. He could almost hear the echoes of the past, the hustle and bustle of the ship's crew, now replaced by the murmur of the sea. As they moved around to the darker side of the wreck, a sudden movement in the peripheral of Diego's vision caught his attention. He turned, expecting to see a curious fish or sea turtle. Instead, he stared into a bull shark's cold, unblinking eyes. The shark, easily over 8 feet long, glided through the water with an effortless grace that belied its power. Diego's heart pounded in his chest, a rapid drumbeat in the silent underwater world. He remembered Luis's words about staying calm, but the presence of the shark, so close and so real, sent a wave of panic through him. He signaled to Luis, who had already seen the shark. They knew they needed to ascend, but it had to be done slowly to avoid decompression sickness. The shark, perhaps curious or territorial, began to circle them, its sleek body quickly cutting through the water. Diego's mind raced. He knew bull sharks were unpredictable. Every second under the water with this apex predator felt like an eternity. He focused on his breathing, trying to keep it steady, his eyes never leaving the shark. As they began their slow ascent, the shark suddenly darted towards Diego, its powerful body moving with a frightening speed. Diego's training kicked in as the bull shark charged towards him in that split second. He knew better than to panic or make sudden movements, which could further provoke the shark. Instead, he tried to make himself appear larger and less like prey. spreading his arms and keeping his eyes fixed on the shark. The shark's attack was swift and terrifying. It snapped its jaws near Diego's leg, its teeth grazing the neoprene of his wetsuit. Pain seared through Diego's calf as the shark's teeth cut into his skin, but miraculously the bite was shallow. The shark, perhaps dissuaded by the taste of neoprene or Diego's defensive posture, veered away, disappearing into the blue depths. Adrenaline surged through Diego's body, dulling the pain in his leg. He knew he was lucky. The injury could have been much worse. Luis quickly assessed the situation, signaling for an immediate ascent. Every movement was agony for Diego, but he focused on the surface, willing himself to stay conscious. As they ascended, Luis kept a vigilant watch for the shark, but it seemed their encounter was over. When they finally broke the surface, the relief was overwhelming. Luis immediately called for help on the dive boat's radio, while administering first aid to Diego's leg. The boat arrived quickly, the crew's faces etched with concern as they helped Diego aboard. The wound on his leg was bleeding, but it was not life-threatening. As the boat sped back to shore, Diego lay there, the reality of what had happened sinking in. He had come face to face with one of nature's most formidable predators and had survived. Back on shore, Diego was rushed to the hospital. The wound required stitches, but he was in stable condition. However, the incident was more than a brush with danger. It was a life-altering experience for Diego. As he recovered, he spent long hours reflecting on the encounter. For all its beauty, he realized that the ocean was also a wild and unpredictable place. His respect for marine life deepened, and he became more determined to advocate for ocean conservation and shark awareness. The experience also strengthened Diego's resolve to continue diving. He understood the risks, but the ocean was a part of his identity. He couldn't imagine his life away from it. His story became a source of inspiration for others, a tale of survival and respect for the natural world. Months later, Diego returned to the water. His first dive after the incident was filled with mixed emotions, fear, excitement, and profound gratitude. As he descended beneath the waves, he felt a sense of peace. The ocean welcomed him back, its vastness a reminder of how small and yet significant each life is in the grand tapestry of nature. Diego continued to explore the underwater world, his passion undimmed by the encounter. He advocated for shark conservation, using his story to educate others about the importance of these misunderstood creatures in the marine ecosystem. His experience with the bull shark was not just a story of survival. It was a journey of understanding and respect, a reminder that we are all connected in the delicate balance of life on Earth. The wind whipped through her hair, a salty sting on her face. Lyra James's lips stretched with a smile as she surveyed the endless blue horizon from the deck of her sailboat, the Sea Gypsy. This was her element, the wildness of the open ocean calling to something deep within her. At only 25, she had already logged more sea miles than most sailors twice her age. Unlike many born into a seafaring life, Lyra was an outsider. She grew up in the heart of landlocked Colorado, her only connection to the ocean through faded library books and grainy documentaries. Each page, each flickering image ignited her imagination. By 16, she worked odd jobs, saving every penny to buy a battered old sailboat on a nearby lake. Her parents watched, a mixture of pride and exasperation warring on their faces. She studied marine biology via long-distance courses, devoured navigation manuals, and took any crew position. Today's solo voyage was supposed to be simple: navigate from the coast of South Africa towards the remote islands of the Tristan archipelago. The notoriously rough waters here were infamous for shipwrecks, but Lyra saw them as the ultimate challenge. The archipelago's rich marine biodiversity, including great white sharks, was a powerful draw for the fearless young woman. It wasn't just the thrill. It was the knowledge she craved, to witness firsthand the creatures she'd only read about. It was late October 2002 as she traced her planned route on her chart. The skies were clear, but she knew how quickly things could shift, especially in these treacherous waters. She checked and rechecked her equipment and secured her supplies. This boat wasn't just her transport, it was her lifeline. She thought of her family back home, rolling their eyes in fond resignation at her latest adventure. She was used to their worry mixed with grudging admiration. Sending a quick satellite message to reassure them, she settled in for the night. Lyra wasn't reckless, but she wasn't driven by caution either. Growing up watching nature documentaries sparked her passion. Sharks fascinated her, not as monsters, but as apex predators playing a vital role in the ocean's delicate balance. She dreamed of encounters, of understanding them on their terms. The first days of the journey were exhilarating. Dolphins escorted her for a while, their playful leaps a good omen. She slept in short bursts, the rhythm of the waves lulling her into a trance-like focus. But she knew this was just the calm before the storm. The Tristan Archipelago wasn't some tourist destination. It was raw, untamed, and a stark reminder of nature's unpredictable power. And it was getting closer. The change came with brutal swiftness. One moment the sea was a heaving expanse, the next a churning, frothing nightmare. The wind roared, tearing at the sails. Lyra fought for control, but the sea gypsy was like a toy in the hands of an angry giant. Rain lashed down, visibility shrinking to mere feet. The storm wasn't just around her, it seemed to rise from the depths, and the ocean was a raging beast. A towering wave slammed into the boat, knocking Lyra off her feet. Scrambling back, she saw the mast snap like a twig. Despair washed over her. Without the sail, she was at the mercy of the current. She grabbed emergency supplies, stuffing them into a waterproof pack. Her heart pounded in her chest, a mix of fear and defiance. Then it happened. A colossal surge and the boat capsized. Lyra was plunged into the icy water. Instincts took over. She fought her way to the surface, coughing and gasping. Looking back, the wreckage of the sea gypsy was getting steadily smaller, leaving her frighteningly alone. She trod water, trying to get her bearings. Then, she saw a dark, triangular fin slicing through the turbulent water. Her blood ran cold. Not one shark, but several. Great whites circling like vultures around a dying animal. Panic threatened to drag her under. She knew screaming and thrashing about would only attract them. Forcing herself into a semblance of calm, she began to swim slowly towards a piece of debris, a broken plank that floated a short distance away. The sharks closed in, their movements eerily graceful in the storm's chaos. Reaching the plank, she used it as a makeshift shield, keeping it between herself and the hungry predators. One shark bumped it experimentally. Her muscles screamed with the strain of holding her position. Time was both endless and fleeting. She wasn't going to die without a fight. A flare. It was in the emergency pack strapped to her waist. Fumbling with numb fingers, she launched the Fury Burst, illuminating the stormy ski for a few seconds. Perhaps someone would see it, but hope seemed a foolish luxury now. The sharks regrouped, their methodical circling tightening the noose. One surged forward, its massive jaws snapping at the plank. The force splintered the wood, sending Lyra tumbling back into the water. She kicked desperately attempting to escape those gleaming rows of teeth. Then a searing pain shot through her arm. A shark had clamped onto her. Terror was a blinding, primal force. Somehow, in the struggle, her hand found the flare gun. She shoved it into the shark's open maw and pulled the trigger. The flare ignited, the beast suffered excruciating pain and released her. In the fiery chaos, the other sharks retreated momentarily. Bleeding and in shock, Lyra scrambled onto another piece of floating wreckage. The morning was breaking and the storm was finally beginning to ease. Exhaustion threatened to take her, but she clung to consciousness with grim determination. Rescue might come, or it might not. But she wouldn't make it easier for the sharks by giving in. Hours passed. She saw things that weren't there. Her family, her room, a shark's open mouth. She could barely breathe. Was this it? Would she die here, forgotten by everyone? Then she saw it. A helicopter, tiny against the clouds. They saw her flare. Hope burst inside her. She waved even though her voice was gone. The helicopter got closer. She wasn't dead. She was going to live. Laura Bennett, a 30-year-old professional underwater photographer, embarked on a journey to Zenith Coast in the picturesque Seychelles. Jack Cooper, a marine biologist and Laura's partner in life and work, accompanied her. Their mission was to capture the breathtaking beauty of the coral reefs in this tropical paradise. April 23, 2007, was marked by clear skies and the sun casting a golden hue over the tranquil waters of Zenith Coast. Laura and Jack prepared for their dive, excited to document the vibrant underwater world. The Seychelles, known for their pristine waters and abundant marine life, were the perfect canvas for Laura's photography. Equipped with her camera and underwater housing, Laura felt a rush of excitement. The ocean had always been her sanctuary, where she could blend her passion for photography with her love for the marine environment. With his extensive knowledge of marine ecosystems, Jack was the ideal partner for such an expedition. The ocean's magic unfolded before them as they descended into the azure depths. Colorful fish darted among the corals and rays glided gracefully beneath them. Laura's camera clicked and whirred, capturing the spectacle in stunning detail. In these waters, tiger sharks were known to roam. Majestic and formidable, they were both a photographer's dream and a diver's caution. Laura and Jack respected these apex predators, understanding their importance in the ocean's balance. The dive progressed smoothly, with Laura focusing on a particularly vibrant coral formation. Jack kept a watchful eye on their surroundings, ensuring their safety. The harmony of the underwater world was hypnotizing, a symphony of color and life. Without warning, the serene scene was disrupted. A giant tiger shark, its stripes distinctive against its muscular body, emerged from the blue. Its approach was silent and swift, catching Laura off guard as she focused through her camera lens. The shark's sudden appearance sent a jolt of fear through Laura. Her heart raced as she assessed the situation. The shark circled, its curiosity evident, but its intentions unclear. Laura knew she had to protect both herself and her valuable equipment. Jack, realizing the gravity of the situation, moved closer to Laura. They both knew that panic would only escalate the encounter. They maintained their composure, moving slowly and deliberately. The tiger shark, intrigued by Laura's camera, moved closer. Its robust body glided through the water with ease. Laura could see its eyes unblinking and calculating as it assessed these unfamiliar visitors. In a heart-stopping moment, the shark lunged towards Laura, its jaws wide open. Laura's instincts kicked in. She used her camera as a shield, pushing it towards the shark's gaping mouth. The camera, a barrier between her and the shark's teeth, took the brunt of the impact. The shark's bite was forceful, its teeth clamping onto the camera housing. Laura held on, struggling to keep the shark at bay. Jack sprang into action, using his knowledge of shark behavior to try and deter the predator. The struggle was intense, a battle of wills between humans and sharks. Laura's arms ached as she fought to keep the camera between her and the shark. Meanwhile, Jack attempted to distract the shark, hoping to draw it away from Laura. In an instant, the shark struck. With a robust and swift movement, it clamped its jaws onto Laura's arm, pulling her away from the coral. The force of the attack was overwhelming, and Laura felt a searing pain as the shark's teeth sank into her flesh. Jack reacted instantly, swimming towards Laura in a desperate attempt to help. But the shark was relentless. It shook its head violently, dragging Laura deeper as she struggled to free herself from its grip. Blood clouded the water, starkly contrasting the serene environment they had been admiring moments before. The attack was brutal and unyielding. Her arm was severely injured, and she was losing blood rapidly. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Jack knew he had to act fast. He reached for his shark deterrent device, hoping to drive the predator away. The device emitted a high-frequency sound, disorienting the shark momentarily. Seizing the opportunity, Jack pulled Laura away from the shark's reach. As they ascended towards the surface, Laura's consciousness began to wane. The pain was excruciating and she struggled to stay awake. Jack, supporting her with one arm, swam as quickly as he could, his mind racing with thoughts of getting her to safety. Reaching the surface, Jack's shouts for help echoed across the bay. Their boat crew, alerted by the commotion, rushed to their aid. Laura was hoisted onto the boat, her injuries grave and life-threatening. As the boat raced back to shore, the crew administered first aid to stem the bleeding. Laura's condition was critical and every second counted. The once idyllic day had turned into a nightmare, a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of the wild and the inherent risks of exploring its depths. On shore, an ambulance awaited, ready to rush Laura to the nearest hospital. The serene beauty of Zenith Coast faded into the background as the reality of the shark attack set in. and a day meant to capture the beauty of the ocean ended in a desperate fight for survival. Laura's arm, severely mauled by the shark, was wrapped in makeshift bandages, but the blood seeped through relentlessly. The crew's efforts to control the bleeding were a desperate battle against time. Jack, his face etched with worry, whispered words of encouragement to Laura, trying to pierce through the haze of pain and shock that enveloped her. At the hospital, the chaos of the emergency room was a blur to Jack. Doctors and nurses swarmed around Laura, their voices a symphony of medical jargon and urgency. Jack was ushered to the waiting area, his heart heavy with worry. The hours ticked by slowly, each minute an eternity of waiting and uncertainty. Jack replayed the day's events in his mind, questioning every decision and moment that led to the attack. The image of the shark, its jaws clamped on Laura's arm, was a haunting vision that refused to fade. Days turned into weeks, and Laura's condition gradually improved. The road to recovery was long and fraught with challenges, but her spirit, as unyielding as the ocean she loved, kept her fighting. Jack remained a constant presence, his support unwavering. The attack had changed their lives irrevocably, but it also strengthened their bond, a testament to the power of love and resilience in adversity. Laura's journey back to health was slow and painful, but she was not alone. Together, they faced each day, their love a beacon of hope in the darkest times. In the world-famous surfing destination of Jeffreys Bay, South Africa, the waves are a surfer's dream. Here, beneath the golden African sun, 22-year-old Mia Thompson, an aspiring professional surfer, chased the wave of a lifetime. Mia, with her sun-bleached hair and a spirit as free as the ocean, had come to Jeffreys Bay to compete in a regional surfing competition. Surfing was more than a sport to her. It was a calling. She had grown up on the coast of Durban, riding waves before she could even properly swim. The ocean was her home, her escape, her challenge. On the day of the competition, the beach was buzzing with excitement. Surfers from all over the country had gathered, their boards under their arms, eyes fixed on the rolling waves. Mia felt a familiar thrill as she looked at the sea, its surface shimmering under the morning sun. Her heat was up, and she paddled out, her heart pounding with anticipation. The ocean greeted her like an old friend, its waves nodding in welcome. She felt a sense of peace as she waited for the right wave. Then she saw a perfect swell rising in the distance and coming her way. Mia paddled hard, positioning herself. The wave grew, towering over her, a moving mountain of water. She popped up on her board, finding her balance in a fluid motion. The wave caught her, and she was riding it, the world reduced to the rush of water and the wind in her hair. She carved along the face of the wave, every turn a dance with nature. It was exhilarating, the kind of ride that surfers dream of. A dark shadow in the water caught her eye as she neared the end of the wave, ready to pull out. Her heart skipped a beat. Sharks were not uncommon in these waters, but one never expects to encounter them up close. The shadow moved swiftly, its form unmistakable. A shark, and not a small one. Adrenaline surged through Mia. Her initial instinct was to panic, but her years of experience in the ocean kicked in. She knew that staying calm was crucial. The shark, possibly a great white, was just a few meters away, its dorsal fin slicing through the water. Mia's mind raced. She had to get back to shore, but she couldn't just jump off her board and swim. That would make her more vulnerable. Her best chance was to stay on her board and paddle back as smoothly and quickly as possible. She turned her board towards the beach, paddling with steady strokes. Her eyes were fixed on the shore, but she was acutely aware of the shark's presence. It seemed to be following her, a silent, ominous escort. The distance to the beach felt like miles. A mix of fear and determination fueled every stroke. Mia's arms ached, but she didn't dare stop. The shark remained a constant shadow, its intentions unclear. The shark veered away as she approached the shallows, disappearing into the depths. Mia didn't stop until her board hit the sand. She stumbled onto the beach, her legs weak, her lungs burning for air. Unaware of her silent battle, the crowd cheered at her spectacular ride. Mia stood on the sand, her surfboard under her arm, trying to steady her shaking hands. The cheers from the crowd faded into a distant hum as she processed what had just happened. The encounter with the shark had been a stark reminder of the ocean's unpredictability, a force that demanded respect and caution. Her friends and fellow competitors rushed towards her, their faces alight with excitement. oblivious to the danger she had just faced. The event organizers soon announced the winners. Mia had scored high with her wave, but today, her brush with danger overshadowed the thrill of victory. As the crowd dispersed and the beach began to empty, Mia sat down, her eyes tracing the horizon. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. Mia thought about the shark, about how it had followed her, yet hadn't attacked. It was a curious thing, the way nature worked. She felt a newfound appreciation for the delicate balance of life beneath the waves, a balance she was part of every time she entered the water. The incident hadn't dampened her love for surfing, but changed her perspective. She realized that every time she paddled out, she was a visitor in the marine world, a beautiful world yet could be unforgiving. It was a reminder to never take the ocean for granted. Over the next few days, Mia spent time reflecting on her experience. She visited the local marine conservation center to learn more about sharks and their behavior. The knowledge she gained was enlightening. She learned about the importance of sharks in the ocean ecosystem and how humans are more threatened by them than we were by them. Determined to turn her experience into something positive, Mia began to advocate for shark conservation in her community. She spoke at local schools and the surf club, sharing her story and the importance of respecting ocean life. She emphasized coexistence and the need to protect marine habitats. Mia's experience also led her to take additional safety measures while surfing. She invested in a shark deterrent device to keep sharks at bay without harming them. It gave her an added sense of security, though she knew the ocean would always carry its risks. As the weeks passed, Mia returned to the water, her love for surfing as strong as ever. She felt a connection with the ocean that went beyond the sport. It was a relationship built on respect, understanding, and a deep appreciation for the natural world. Mia's encounter with the shark became a defining moment in her life, not because of the danger she faced, but because of how it transformed her view of the ocean. It was a reminder that in the vast, ever-changing seas, humans were just a tiny part of a much larger story. She continued to surf, to chase the waves, but now with a deeper awareness of the world beneath her board, a world as mysterious as it was magnificent. In the summer of 2011, the Mariana Archipelago cradled a hidden gem, Isla Serenidad. Known for its lush landscapes and pristine lagoons, this paradise beckoned adventurers from far and wide. Among them was Amelia Harrison, a seasoned traveler with an insatiable wanderlust. Her heart pulsated with excitement as she embarked on a kayaking expedition, seeking the promised tranquility of Isla Serenidad's emerald waters. As Amelia's paddle rhythmically dipped into the clear lagoon, the kayak glided over a vibrant underwater world. The coral reefs beneath painted a mesmerizing tapestry, teeming with exotic fish in a kaleidoscope of colors. Overhead, the tropical symphony of birds and the rustle of palm fronds created a harmonious backdrop for her solitary paddle. Isla Serenidad whispered tales of an ancient guardian, a legendary shark whose name was lost to time. Local folklore spoke of its role as a protector, almost keeping the lagoon safe from intruders. Though believed to be extinct, hints of its existence lingered in the collective consciousness of the islanders. Unbeknownst to Amelia, she had entered this hidden realm where the veil of reality blurred. The tranquil waters betrayed a subtle disturbance as the sun lay below the horizon, casting the lagoon into twilight. The atmosphere shifted, and a dorsal fin sliced through the surface. The ominous silhouette of the enormous shark emerged from the depths. The once serene lagoon transformed into a theater of primal instincts, where the dance of predator and prey unfolded beneath the moonlit canopy. The air thickened with anticipation as nature's symphony gave way to the first heartbeat of the ocean. Amelia's heart raced as the guardian circled her kayak with predatory intent. Its primal gaze invoked an ancestral fear deep within her. Panic surged, but she summoned her innate survival instincts to confront the impending danger. The once serene vessel was transformed into a battleground, witnessing the clash between human resilience and the untamed force of nature. The guardian, a formidable shark, lunged at the kayak, its powerful body bumping against the hull. The air filled with the tension of the struggle as the kayak bore the physical impact of a perilous encounter with the wild. Each stroke of the paddle became a desperate plea for escape as the shark's immense presence loomed. The moonlit water mirrored the turmoil within Amelia's soul. She attempted to outmaneuver the apex predator with every calculated move, navigating the labyrinthine dance of survival. The night wore on, marked by the ebb and flow of the tide, as the struggle between human will and the ancient force of the ocean unfolded. The lagoon, once a sanctuary, now bore witness to a confrontation between two worlds, one shaped by civilization, the other governed by the laws of the wild. Fortunately, the shark retreated, leaving Amelia with a mix of relief and awe at that close encounter with the raw power of the sea. Amelia's ordeal with the guardian shark left its mark in the form of bruises. The struggle in the kayak had taken a toll on her, resulting in scraped arms and a bruised leg. The kayak itself bore the physical scars of the encounter, showing minor damages from the guardian's aggression. Once back on the rocky cliffs, Amelia took a moment to assess her injuries. The cuts were superficial but stung with the salty reminder of her battle with the feral force. The islanders, witnessing her return, offered simple aid, cleaning the wounds and providing basic first aid to ease the discomfort. The kayak, though it had minor damage, remained functional for the return journey to the island's shore. Against all odds, Amelia reached the safety of the rocky cliffs, her kayak battered but intact. Breathless and humbled, Amelia reflected on the untamed forces that governed the natural world. Isla Serenidad, with its tranquil facade, had revealed a side hidden from casual observers, a reminder that even in paradise, survival demanded respect for the delicate balance between humans and the wild. Over time, Amelia's physical injuries healed, leaving behind only faint scars as reminders of the struggle. Emotionally, the impact lingered, and the memory of the encounter became a part of her story. She was grateful for her survival, treated her injuries with a mix of traditional remedies and practical care. Amelia, now a living connection to the shark's realm, found herself drawn back to Isla Serenidad, not seeking adventure but respecting the island's spirit. The moonlight cast its ethereal glow on the undisturbed lagoon, shrouded in mystery and wonder. Amelia's harrowing encounter became a tale etched in the annals of the island's history, a cautionary saga for those who dared to challenge the waters. Amelia stood on the rocky precipice in the aftermath of the harrowing encounter, the echoes of the primal struggle still reverberating in the air. As she caught her breath, Amelia couldn't shake the feeling that she had glimpsed into a realm where the boundaries between the civilized world and the wilderness blurred. The shark's presence now dissipated into the ocean's depths, leaving behind a heavy silence in the night air. Amelia, battered yet alive, surveyed the undisturbed lagoon below. The tranquil waters, which had once promised a leisurely paddle, now held the memory of an epic struggle between humanity and the forces of nature. Descending the rocky cliffs, Amelia returned to the kayak, which bore the scars of the encounter, scratches and bite marks etched into its surface. As she paddled back to the island's shore, the lagoon mirrored the serenity of a world that had witnessed a confrontation between two realms. Isla Serenidad, in its beauty, seemed to hold the wonders of countless tales, each etched into the fabric of the island's existence. Amelia's journey didn't end with the rocky shores. The islanders, grateful for her survival and touched by the intertwining of her destiny with that of the shark, shared stories of Isla Serenidad's past. They spoke of how the island had long been a sanctuary for its residents, and the feral creatures that found refuge in its untouched beauty. Months passed, and Isla Serenidad became a place where tales of resilience and respect for the wild echoed through time. Amelia, having become part of the island's lore, couldn't escape the encounter's profound impact on her. She found herself drawn back to Isla Serenidad, not as a tourist seeking adventure but as a custodian of the island's realm. With its lush jungles and pristine lagoons, the island continued to weave its magic. And so the story was etched in the rocks and waves, a narrative that resonated with every ripple in the tranquil waters of Isla Serenidad. Its beauty endured, transcending time and becoming a memorable part of the island's legacy.